Hey everybody, Jeff Yentz of CreativeMusicGenius.com, and welcome to Expand 9, part of fun with 3 strings, 3 minutes and a triad. And today we're going to expand and we're going to go beyond just 3 strings, and we're going to go beyond just a triad. We're going to start out simple though, Dsus2, okay? And it's a D, an A, and an E. And if you look down here on the fretboard, right, these are the 3 strings I'm choosing today. The G, B, and E strings, right? My 3 highest strings on the guitar. So on the 7th fret, the G string, we got the D note, the root, okay? And if we drop back to the 5th fret for the other 2 strings, here we find the E, the A right there on the 5th fret. And dropping back here to the cowboy chord position, of course, like open E string, right? All day long, we got our E note, and then we got our D there in the 3rd fret, and the A on the 2nd fret of the G string, right? And we got one more position right up here, 9th fret, we got the E note right there in the G string, and then on the 10th fret, we got our other 2 notes. Okay, so here's what a Dsus2 chord looks like, right? The D note, E is the 2, and A is the 5th of the chord, right? So if we wanted to expand 9, we can add some notes to that. Now, here's something I really want to share with you that just helps so much in being a musician these days, is you don't have to play all the notes of a chord. You can play some of the notes, right? Because you might be in a band, or you might be doing a multi-track recording, you're jamming with some friends, right? And they're covering some of those notes, right? So even though a D9 chord, we're going to see it has 5 notes in it, you don't have to play all 5. You could play just 3 if you want, and it could still sound really cool, and perhaps in the context of what you're playing, it might sound even better, okay? So, but we're going to check out a bunch of different options here, right? So if I wanted to go with a D9, now notice the symbol, right? It's just the D and the 9. There's some other variations of this chord, right? Like D add 9 or D major 9. We're not going to talk about those ones today. We'll cover that in another video, right? But to make a D9 chord, first of all, I'm going to take my 2 from my Sus2 that we just looked at and move it up here. So there was an E there, and it's also an E up here, right? So the 2 and the 9 really are the same note, okay? Just higher, okay? So we get an E up there. Now I'm going to add in here an F sharp, okay? That's part of our D9 chord, right? So like this part right here, these 3 notes would be like a D major chord, right? So we get that by adding in the F sharp. Now we're going to add in a C, okay, and that's going to be our, you could call it a dominant 7th, right? We're not going to get too technical in all the music theory mumbo jumbo, right? But there is your full-on D9 chord, the notes, right? So let's say you wanted to expand the number of strings you were playing. What would make more sense than to add the D string, right? Okay, so you play the D string, and you get 4 strings. You can play these 4 strings, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab that C note right there, okay? So play D, open string, right? A, C, E. Now you get 4 notes of the chord, okay? Isn't that cool? Right, now I can come over here to this middle position, and I can put the F sharp, and I can play the D, right, and another D and F sharp and E, okay. Now to this position up here, I'm going to move some of these around, okay. I'm going to put my root up here, okay, D at the octave at the 12th fret, right, and then let's give you another yellow one, okay. So you got that position, right, a diagonal line right there of 3 notes, D, F sharp, and A, and then the E string at the octave also, okay? So you can just experiment with different combinations of these notes up and down the fretboard, right? You get 5 notes to choose from, and you can just find an abundance of those notes, right? So let's expand one more string. Let's go 5 strings, okay? So the root note on the 5th fret, okay, of the A string, right? 5th fret of the A string, then we get an F sharp there on the 4th fret of the D string, right? We get a C here on the 5th fret of the G string. We get an E, 5th fret of the B string, and we got an A, 5th fret of the E string. Right there is a really awesome chord position. I like the way that sounds. It's a D9 chord. You can actually move this up and down the fretboard if you want to play different kinds of 9 chords. Like if you want to play a C9, you can slide it back 2 frets. If you're going to play an E9, of course you can slide it up anywhere up and down the neck. That is a movable 9th shape. It's a good one to know, right? So here's one more cool thing I want to point out before I go is like if we go back to the Sus2 chord, D, A, and E, if you notice on the circle of fifths, those are all right next to each other. 3 notes right in a row. So that makes it easy to locate your Sus2, which is also the 9. The 2 is the 9, right? They're both E. Okay? So you can kind of use the circle of fifths as a cheat sheet in that way to find your Sus2 and your 9 chords and get the ball rolling, play some music. Jeff Yenser, CreativeMusicGenius.com. Now, what you can do for fun is grab your guitar, write a little tune, you know, something simple or complicated, whatever you like, record it and send me a link to it so I can listen to it. I would love to hear you play some music. Jeff Yenser, CreativeMusicGenius.com. Thanks for watching.